What's up, everyone? This is FP Sticks. Next week, the Kanto Cup rolls around, and so in today's video, I'm going to be kind of highlighting a lot of the typical Pokemon that you're going to be seeing in the Kanto Cup. All of these practice battles have been taken from my live stream that I did yesterday where I participated in King Battle League. This is a format put on by King IV, who I'm sure all of you know, one of the best Pogo PvP content creators out there, but he essentially puts on these Go Battle League style tournaments, which kind of allows you to practice particular matchups for whatever meta it is during that tournament, and this one was in the Kanto Cup format. So all of these battles were taken from that, and so essentially this is a Go Battle League format, blind battles. You get matched up with a random person and you do one battle. So we're going to be kind of taking a look at these battles and talking about some of the Pokemon that we're going to be seeing a lot in Kanto Cup. So Kanto Cup, obviously you can only use Pokemon from the Kanto region, but Alolan's are also allowed, and you're going to be seeing a lot of Alolan Pokemon in this Kanto Cup. You can see for some reason, I don't know what has been going on, but the last couple days, I've been experiencing just an absurd amount of game-breaking lag. A ridiculous amount of lag where I will just be frozen. My internet speed is extremely fast. I'm sitting right next to my router, so when I'm on Wi-Fi, sometimes it lags, but when I'm on LTE, it also lags. So I'm not sure what has been going on. I have an iPhone 8, so it's not that old. But I don't know. I just feel like I've been cursed the last couple days, but that's besides the point. In this video, you're gonna see a lot of instances where I lag and lose because of that. But Lapras, I think, is a very, very solid option. I think it works decently as a safe swap. I think it essentially works in almost any position. I would probably run Lapras either in the safe swap spot or in the back. And I am running Ice Shard, Surf, and Skull Bash on it. One thing that I enjoy about Lapras instead of Dewgong, for example, is that Lapras has a very solid response against Dewgong. It's a very positive matchup. You're able to get those Skull Bashes off and really boost up your defense. And you also have access to Surf, which is a better water type move than Water Pulse, which Dewgong has, so that's going to help you out in the Alolan Marowak matchup as well. Downside to Lapras is your grass matchups are going to be a little bit more challenging because you essentially don't have an ice type charge move. I would definitely recommend running Surf and Skull Bash as the moveset in this cup. But Dewgong has access to Icy Wind, which is great. It drops your opponent's attack. So Dewgong is going to be fairly common. You do need a double legacy Dewgong, so you need Ice Shard as the fast move and Icy Wind as the charge move there. So most likely going to need to burn some elite TMs there, which I've done. I was able to actually build a rank 1 Dewgong there. There's another instance of game breaking lag where I just completely lag, the game stutters, and then I get farmed down and die with like 70 energy, which really sucks. But so I disconnect from Wi-Fi there again, maybe hoping that will help there. Alolan Muk is personally like one of my favorite Pokemon in this cup. Honestly, anytime Alolan Muk is allowed, whether it's in Sylph or in a particular condensed meta, it's always good. It's always good. I think it might be one of the safest leads in this cup. Point being, there's no like Toxicroak to look out for. There's no Mud Boys to look out for. Ground type damage in this cup is essentially non-existent, at least within the kind of condensed meta of the top pick Pokemon. So Alolan Muk, really the only thing that it has to fear is like a fighter like Machamp or Hitmonchan or Primeape. If people are going to be running Primeape, it does have access to Night Slash, but I think Alolan Muk makes a really solid lead, because the most common Pokemon that I were seeing are Alolan Marowak, Mew, which is also very solid, Hypno, and Alolan Muk has positive matchups against all these things. I actually ran into a decent number of Wigglytuff as well. The matchup Wigglytuff against Alolan Muk is still pretty scary because they can just double shield and charm you right on down. But I'm utilizing Alolan Muk here as a safe swap, and this is up against the Snorlax. This is kind of an interesting thing that happens here. So apparently Alolan Muk is supposed to win against Snorlax in the 1 and 2 shield, going straight to Dark Pulse. I did eat like 1 charm on my Alolan Muk before the Wigglytuff left there, but if I remember correctly, this Snorlax takes me out. So I double shield. I should be able to get to another Dark Pulse, and that Snorlax is in Dark Pulse range. I feel like, if I remember correctly, I lose this matchup right here, though. Because yeah, like, that Body Slam did so much. So that's kind of strange. Maybe it's because I took the extra charm damage from the Wigglytuff, or maybe it's because my opponent's particular Snorlax was very attack-weighted or something. I'm not quite sure. But typically that's supposed to be a decent matchup for Alolan Muk in the 1 and 2 shield. You can go straight Dark Pulse there because the lick damage is resisted. Out comes that Wigglytuff. I'm thankful that it's lined up against my Lapras and not my Mew here. My Mew is running Shadow Claw, Surf, and Wild Charge. Technically, I think the preferred moveset for this Kanto Cup is Rock Slide and Wild Charge. Rock Slide's going to help you against the Flyers, as well as still hit for super effective damage on Alolan Marowak and these ice types like Lapras and Dewgong. Wild Charge is really great as just a very heavy hitting move. And Shadow Claw is definitely the fast move that you want there. Great damage, great energy generation. It allows Mew to be a psychic type that can take out other psychic types, and that is exactly what you want. So I'm going to throw this Wild Charge to take out this Hypno, and I'm able to win that game there. Good game. This game's against Valor Ash, another really great battler and content creator. So this is a decent lead for me. Dragonair, pretty interesting. There's no Altaria in this cup, right? So Dragonair is a very interesting Dragon Breath user. It has access to Aqua Tail, which is going to be hitting for super effective damage on Alolan Marowak, which is really great. It also has access to Dragon Pulse for a nice heavy hitting move there. Or you could run like Wrap or Return if you want like some neutral damage, but oh man, Lapras against Poliwrath is very, very bad for Lapras. Skull Bash is going to hit for some nice neutral damage, but the Poliwrath is essentially going to come out of this with a lot of stored energy. I don't think Poliwrath is going to be that common, but I do think it's kind of an interesting sleeper pick. It's rated pretty low on PvPoke. Now check this out. I would assume that it has Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch. My Mew gets one-shotted by a Hydro Pump Poliwrath. So at that point, I definitely lost the game there. That was pretty devastating. Poliwrath running Mud Shot for the really fast energy generation, and then Hydro Pump and Dynamic Punch. Very, very interesting there. I even tried it out in some of my practice battles that I did today, and it's kind of fun, especially as a closer. When shields are down, that Hydro Pump hits for so much damage. Yeah, unfortunately here, there's no win scenario here, so the Alolan Marowak is going to take me out. Very good games, Valor Ash. The Hydro Pump totally caught me off guard. Mew lead into Mew lead. Now, I feel like a lot of Mews are still going to have like Flame Charge as a fast move. Somehow we're out of sync with the fast moves here right off the bat, so there was like a little bit of lag. And my opponent is running Flame Charge, so they boost their attack. I'm going to throw this Surf here, and it gets shielded. I'm going to throw another Surf and see what they want to do here. So they let that one through, and then I'm able to Shadow Claw them down before getting hit by another charge move. So they were probably running like Flame Charge, Wild Charge. Out comes Marowak. This is still pretty decent for me. I do have to stay in this because I have a Beedrill in the back. Beedrill is pretty interesting. The unfortunate thing is that you're going to be taking super effective damage from like these Fire Spins, and also Confusion from Hypno, which Hypno is going to be everywhere. It's the top rated Pokemon for the Kanto Cup, and so it's going to be everywhere. However, you are able to fight back with those X Scissors to hit for super effective damage on Hypno. I think the recommended moveset for Beedrill for this is definitely Poison Jab as a fast move, and then X Scissor and Drill Run as the charge moves. Drill Run is going to be great to hit those like the Dark Poison types like Alolan Muk like we see there, as well as hit for super effective damage on Alolan Marowak, which is pretty nice. So the X-Scissor is able to take out that Shadow Hitmonchan. Out comes that Alolan Marowak. I'm not able to get into my Muck, but I can survive 2 Bone Clubs, and I should be able to snarl this down. Alolan Muk is very, very powerful. I'm running Snarl as the fast move, Dark Pulse, and Sludge Wave as the charge moves there. Okay, Shadow Dragonite. Definitely a very powerful Pokemon with like this fast move pressure. You obviously need to look out for the ice types. You're going to get melted by that. And you need to look out for the Charmers. But other than that, it seems like a fairly safe option. It's insanely glassy. Very, very glassy, but it's able to output a lot of damage with Dragon Breath. My opponent also has a Shadow Lapras in the back, so running 2 Shadow Pokemon already, that's pretty spicy. I'm able to get the Sludge Wave through, so this means that all I need to do is land a Dark Pulse. Alolan Muk does win the CMP tie against Lapras there. And there is a case to be made. I could maybe shield this here because that Lapras still has so much health, and I'm going to get farmed down, which is terrible. Probably should have shielded there to force them to dump their energy, but I'm in a tough spot here. I bring out my Mew, and I could have also no-shielded this and let it go down, but I shield this up. I'm able to farm it down. I know that there's a Dragonite in the back. And unfortunately, I'm not even able to click anything because this Shadow Razor Leaf Ivysaur comes in and destroys me. And this Dragon Claw does so much, so at this point, it's game over, and so I just concede the match. Very good game there. Their team absolutely destroyed me there. Alolan Muk in the lead against Dewgong. Now, it takes 5... Oh, I'm instantly lagging. Look at that. That's pretty great. And then it just randomly catches up. I don't know what was going on. It's like almost every single match I was getting this wild stutter lag. I'm very surprised that my opponent no-shielded that first one. Typically in this Dewgong matchup, the opponent shields up the first move. I'm going to use Mew as a safe swap here. And then they bring in Hypno, which is not a response to Mew. I knew that this was just going to be a punch, but I shielded it anyways. I was having a pretty bad night of battles, so I definitely got in my own head, and I was worried that somewhere along the line they might have snuck in an extra confusion and the game like visual lagged and I didn't see it. But so that was a bad shield on my part, but I'm able to regain swap. Out comes Dewgong. I'm going to throw this Wild Charge and see what they want to do. They just let it go. And it's a Snorlax in the back, so this is really not good for me. I'm going to switch back into my Alolan Muk. I know that I barely survived this Body Slam. And I really want to get to that Dark Pulse. I'm somehow able to do it, surviving with like 1 HP. Was worried that I was going to lag there. But this is still not a good scenario for me. I have to bring in Hypno to start chunking this thing with confusions. This Hypno is running Thunder Punch and Ice Punch. I just wanted to try out this moveset. But I think technically like Thunder Punch Shadow Ball is good if you don't have a lot of Alolan Marowak coverage on your team. Otherwise, I would probably still run Thunder Punch and Fire Punch. I'd probably run Shadow Hypno as well. Even though you have less bulk, I just love how much damage the confusion does. Somehow I'm not able to get to a move there. Obviously Snorlax does win CMP there, but I thought the first one was CMP. And then I stacked back-to-back surfs here, but as you will see, I barely lag and am not able to get to the surf. That little spinning wheel up in the top left, I can't tell you how many number of games I lost last night because I just kept getting these lag spikes out of nowhere. So I'm leading Venusaur here. Venusaur is going to struggle against Hypno. It's going to struggle against Alolan Marowak, but it's going to be a really solid response to kind of these more like fringe picks. It's going to struggle against Alolan Muk as well, but against like the water ice types, it's going to have a decent matchup. Against the Charmers like Wigglytuff and Clefable, if we start seeing Charm become more and more popular, Venusaur might be a really nice option there. But even against like Dewgong and Lapras, like if the Dewgong or Lapras shields against the Venusaur, it becomes worse and worse for Venusaur because the Ice Shard damage really starts to add up there. So I'm going to throw this Surf into the Snorlax. Surf is more energy efficient than Skull Bash because you get stab on it. Yes, Skull Bash gives you the defense boost, but if your opponent shields up the Skull Bash, that is so much wasted energy. So I tend to build up to Skull Bash in these neutral scenarios, but then typically throw the Surf for more consistent damage there. I was worried that this Snorlax might be running Superpower. I think Snorlax is insanely strong in this cup. I just don't have one built for Great League, and unless I'm able to do some trades and get a better IV like reroll, I probably won't be building one for Great League. Another instance where I'm just like totally lagging here, but I was able to take out that Gengar at the end there. Luckily it was mutual lag. Okay, Blastoise is kind of interesting. It's actually rated fairly highly on PvPoke for the Kanto Cup, running Water Gun, Hydro Cannon. They recommend Ice Beam, but honestly, if I run Blastoise, I'm going to be running Skull Bash on it because it's going to give me a more favorable matchup against Dewgong and against Lapras, and it's a nice neutral hitting move that also boosts your defense. And I feel like Grass is not as common in this meta in the Kanto Cup. It's not really like a water dominated meta. It's very Psychic, Ghost, and Dark heavy. So I didn't encounter too many fighters other than a couple like Shadow Machamps and a couple Hitmonchans. No one ran like Primeape. It does have access to Night Slash, so it might be an interesting fringe pick. But Blastoise, the water gun damage really adds up. It's fairly tanky. Could be an interesting pick. The Hydro Cannon connects, and I'm able to bring in my Marowak. I was almost able to farm it down there. So I'm continuing to farm here. I really wanted to ensure that my opponent doesn't sneak in an extra fast move there. I was able to deny my opponent's fast move there, which is really good for me. Gonna throw this Shadow Bone. It does get shielded, but I know I can safely get to this Shadow Bone before they get to another one. They did get a Fire Spin through there. Shadow Bone is not enough to take it out, but at this point I can come in with Blastoise and farm down if I don't lag. There's that spinning wheel. There's that spinning wheel, and I'm barely able to water gun it down. Good game there. Blastoise again into Machamp. This is not that great, but honestly, like my Alolan Muk is going to struggle against it as well, so I think I end up double shielding here just to try to get a lot of fast move damage off here, and I'm for sure going to be able to draw shields with this Hydro Cannon, but Machamp easily outpaces me getting to these charge moves. So I'm going to let this one go, but unfortunately they're able to farm me down even more, which is not good. But this ensures that my Alolan Marowak is going to get aligned with this. And I knew that this was going to be a cross chop, so I don't need to shield this. I'm able to farm it down. Alolan Marowak with loaded energy is very, very strong. Out comes Lapras. So I know it takes 4 Ice Shards to get to a Surf. So I was counting that much, and then I threw on the CMP. It's definitely worth a shield here. So I do shield it up, and again, it's going to take 4 more Ice Shards. So I throw the Shadow Bone here. I really don't want to get hit by a Surf. They shield it up, and then I switch into my Muk to try to catch that Surf, but they were fast on the swap. Alolan Sandslash used to be rated very highly on PvPoke, and then it dropped a lot in this Kanto Cup. You're going to get destroyed by Alolan Marowak, for sure, but it is a very solid response to Charmers. At this point, my opponent is not lagging. They said they intentionally stopped attacking because I guess they didn't want me to farm them down, but I was able to store back-to-back here, and Alolan Muk wins CMP against Lapras anyways, so I was able to actually take that game there. Good game. I think we have one more match here. Alolan Marowak mirror match here. So ideally, if you're able to successfully bait, it puts you in a really good position. Oh, this is the incorrect Alolan Marowak. I accidentally selected my Hex. Oh man, I accidentally selected my Hex Marowak, running Shadow Ball and Fire Blast. This is not the moveset, folks. I think Hex Marowak might have some play, but not running Shadow Ball and Fire Blast, at least not in the lead like this. This is not what I intended to have happen here. But I'm going to no-shield the Shadow Bone. It doesn't KO. I'm going to switch into my Lapras right there. And then my opponent also has a Lapras. I'm able to get this Skull Bash off first, but they were able to get an extra Ice Shard in there, which is not good. But I'm able to get it back right there. So I should still be one Ice Shard ahead. And then I make kind of a weird play here. I should throw Skull Bash right off the bat. I should throw this right now, but I don't. I should also maybe consider shielding this, but I don't. I don't know why I was doing this. Maybe because I knew Poliwrath was such a hard counter to this Lapras that I knew I would have it in back. I don't know. That's just a bad play. And then I should have stored up more energy on my Lapras too. And it's a Wigglytuff in the back. Here's another mistake. I should just go for double Dynamic Punch here instead of single Hydro Pump, because double Dynamic Punch would have been able to do it. They bring out the Alolan Marowak. I'm going to be able to Hydro Pump this thing as well. So definitely a mistake on my end. But best of luck out there in the Kanto Cup. I'll hopefully bring like one more video of some specific matchups before it gets released on Monday. But if you like this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.